Hello everybody, my name is Walter and today I want to show you how you can build my compact 6x6 double wall door with secret junction. So let me show you this in action. As you can see, I have a wall door with a size of 6x6 for the opening, which looks the same from each side and has some pressure plates, at least in the version I am building in this tutorial here. If I stand on the pressure plates, the whole system will open up and I can just walk through, and after a while it will close again. So pretty straightforward. The secret part comes into play if you stand in the middle when the door closes, because on one side, as you can see here, there is actually a hidden entrance that will only open when the door itself is closed. And obviously I can use this to have a secret base somewhere. I can also use this in the opposite direction, just jump up here, press the button, and walk out. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward, and easy to use. So that's what I want to show you today. Now let's talk about the size. As you can see, it's almost layout sized, so the total width is 15 blocks. It's 7 blocks long, counting the walls. The design itself is 12 blocks high, but unfortunately I wasn't able to fit in a spam-proofing circuit. If you want to spam-proof this, you will have to likely add a few more blocks to that, and in this tutorial I will show you a rather simple circuit which just adds another 4 blocks to the bottom there. Completely optional, but I would recommend building it nevertheless. And with that, let's quickly talk about the required resources. So for the design itself, you're gonna need building blocks, then 3 slabs, 30 obsidian blocks, 20 slime blocks. Those stairs blocks here are required in some places where you actually need transparent blocks, because full blocks would interfere with the redstone circuitry that's hidden in those kind of gaps there. So you will need likely stairs to hide away the gaps in the walls. Or maybe glowstone or something like that. Anyway, for redstone, you're gonna need 46 redstone dust, 3 redstone torches, 22 repeaters, 50 observers, 59 sticky pistons, 24 normal pistons, 80 node blocks, 2 hoppers, a lever, and a wooden button. And if you also want to build the same spam-proofing circuit and pressure plate combination as I have done in this tutorial, you will also need again some building blocks, and then 27 redstone dust, 2 redstone torches, 2 comparators, a block of redstone, 2 sticky pistons, 2 hoppers, and then the 4 pressure plates. And that's pretty much all you're gonna need, so let's get straight to building this thing here. Start by marking the center of the door with 2 immovable blocks at the floor level. Now for this tutorial I will have my hidden tunnel on the right side. If you want it on the left side, just rotate the entire thing by 180 degrees. Anyway, since I have it on the right side, I need to go to the left of those 2 blocks and place another obsidian block below. And then to the right of that, a lowered normal block. Then an upside down slab. Now we need 2 observers to the front and the back, going towards the left. And in front of them, we need observers powering downwards. In this gap here, a sticky piston facing upwards. And then place down 6 redstone wire, as you can see here. Next, place this block here. This will be our input. So for now, let's actually go and place a lever on top, and let's turn this on. Then place a torch to the front and the back. Put blocks on top. Then let's go and let's basically make the same thing diagonally here. So observer running towards the left and another observer running downwards in front of it. And the same at the back. Then we need repeaters on 2 ticks going outwards, running into full blocks with another full block towards the right of the build, redstone wire on top. Then we need a node block next to the second redstone wire, an observer on top of those repeaters looking at the node blocks. Then let's go and start with some pistons, 2 in the middle there. Grab some slime blocks, place 2 on top of the 2 pairs. Then to the front, we need normal pistons. And then 1 layer up, sticky pistons. Do the same on all 4 corners. Now, before we forget it, actually we need a full block in there, and below those 4 sticky pistons here. Then let's go and add a temporary block here so we can place an observer powering downwards. Then we need an observer looking at it and running towards the right this time. And then observers, 4 in total, running into the full blocks below those sticky pistons here. And now let's actually place blocks on top of all the slime blocks and pistons. And if we now flick the lever here, yeah, and if we also put redstone wire on top of those node blocks here, and finally a repeater on 1 tick there, and some redstone dust there. Now the entire thing should actually close up, and if we trigger it again, it should open up again. So then let's fill in the rest of this part of the floor. So we have now our elongated X shape here, and then just full blocks for the rest. Now down here, we first need another 2 blocks like this here. Make this 2 by 3 to be more precise. Then wire in this U shape here, a repeater on 3 ticks there, and a repeater on blocks going outwards on 1 tick each, like this here. Now let's go back to the right. Here we first start with this node block. Here we need to go diagonally down, and then up and down from there. Place 2 redstone wire and a repeater on 2 ticks in there. Now grab a node block, place it here with an observer on top, a block on top, and to the right of that, and 2 obsidian blocks to the left. Now let's quickly mirror this. So down, then up and down, wire, repeater, and a few more blocks like this here. Then grab a sticky piston, place it in between the 2 blocks that are on top of the observers. Then sticky pistons on top of the normal blocks there. Grab 2 slime blocks, place them in front of those double extenders. Then to the front and the back of those front pistons, we need normal pistons. Now let's place down a couple normal blocks and 1 obsidian block here in the middle of the wall. In between the 2 back pistons, we need another sticky piston and a spit out observer running into the obsidian block there. Then let's go to the outside here. First place a node block at the back here with another observer on top. This runs into a full block to the front. Repeater on 3 ticks this time, running into a full block behind this sticky piston there. Then on the front, we need a block diagonal around the corner here with a repeater on 2 ticks. On top of that one, place 2 observers, then a full block, then a node block. And well, let's go all the way up with another 2 observers, another full block, and some redstone dust. Then grab a couple node blocks, place them on top of those 2 normal pistons here with normal blocks on top of those. Then we need sticky pistons to the side of those 4 blocks here. Then on the inside, we need normal pistons. Then first place a sticky piston hovering above this one in the center, and then place another 2 sticky pistons to the middle like this. Grab slime blocks, place 2 in a column in the middle. Then you can fill in the rest of this wall here with normal blocks. Now let's go to the back. First, we will actually place normal pistons on top of those normal blocks there. Then observers powering downwards behind those pistons. Then repeaters on 1 tick each going outwards. Now we go below this, and on the front of our build, we first need a normal block next to this node block with some redstone dust on top. And at the back, we need a node block with redstone dust on top. And additionally, also an observer taking a look at it and running into the space between those two sticky pistons there. And this order is pretty important, or you would have to rebuild parts of the circuitry if you are unlucky. Now grab a hopper and place it on top of this central column of slime blocks. Then put some redstone dust on top. On top of that, we need a block. Then towards the front, a temporary block, so we can actually place, or towards the right, so we can place an observer hovering above the sticky piston there. Put a repeater on 2 ticks on top, running into another full block. Then grab a slab and place it hovering below with some redstone dust on top. Grab sticky pistons, place them as double piston extenders to the front and back, as you can see here. Then grab your observers again, place them running into the back of those repeaters here. Again, the order of things is rather important. Let's next place some redstone dust on top of this block. Then we need a block on top of the repeater. Put node blocks to the front and back, and then observers below them. Like in this. Grab slime blocks, place them in front of those double extenders. Then another obsidian block in the middle of this wall. And then the rest of this layer is just normal blocks. And then let's place 5 more blocks like so. This is the rest of the wall pretty much finished. Now let's go up to this lonely redstone wire here. First we need a block in the middle next to that. Then a sticky piston with a full block to the face. Then either at the front or the back, doesn't really matter which, we need a block left to the node block. Torch on the side of it, so if the piston extends, it will put the block right on top. Then grab a repeater on 3 ticks, run this into this block here. Block on top and behind the repeater. And then 2 redstone wire like this here. And I would also recommend putting blocks on top of those node blocks here to silence them. And with that, this side should actually be pretty much done, except for the tunnel. So let's quickly do this. So let's fill in the rest of this tunnel here. I would recommend doing this when the entire system is closed. So flick the lever here. You should see this side closing. We will just in a moment test whether it's also opening properly. Oh wait, let's actually do this right now. And you should see it also opens up properly. And now let's flick the lever again, and you can see where we will have to add blocks to completely fill in this tunnel here. And with that, the tunnel is done. I usually add another one, so landing in here is easier when you're flying. And with that, the right side is done. Let's quickly open it again. And now we can start with the left side. For the left, we will start with an observer on top of this repeater here. Full block on top, and to the left, repeater on 3 ticks on top of that one, running into a full block. Then in front of this repeater and on top, we need full blocks with redstone dust. The same at the back, like this. Then we have a lowered block and a raised block with a repeater on 2 ticks in the middle, redstone dust there. Same here. Then from those blocks inwards, we also need a lowered block, again with redstone dust on top. Cut off the wire with full blocks here. Then following that, in this corner and this corner, a node block with an observer on top, powering upwards. Again with full blocks on top. Then towards the right, each of those rows gets another 2 obsidian blocks. sticky pistons. Start with a double extender on top of those two rows here, and then another sticky piston in the middle with a split out observer, as you can see here. Put an obsidian block in front of the observer, and then the rest of those first two wall rows can be filled in with normal blocks, like in this here. Following that, let's place the slime blocks I just forgot in those corners here. Then grab normal pistons and place them next to the front pistons you can see here. Put node blocks on top with full blocks on top. Then on the inside we need sticky pistons. On the side in between the two we need normal pistons. Then hovering above this sticky piston we need another sticky piston and then another two sticky pistons like so. Then again two slime blocks. Let's already top that with the hopper. So you can see the setup is very similar to the right side, but there are some deviations obviously. Now over here, let's actually already place the entire blocks of the front wall there. Now at the back, let's start with a normal piston on top of those two normal blocks. Then observers powering downwards behind them. Then going outwards, we need the repeaters on one tick each. Now let's place at the front just a normal block here with redstone dust on top. At the back, we need a node block with redstone dust on top and an observer looking at it and running into the space in between those pistons here. Then over here, let's place redstone dust on top of our hopper there, block on top, and then a temporary block to the left, so we can place again our observer powering downwards with a repeater on 2 ticks on top. This runs into a full block with a upside down slab hovering below. Redstone dust on top of that one. Then let's go and grab some sticky pistons, place a double piston extender here and here. Put slime blocks to the front of those. Then an obsidian block here. Normal blocks on the outside, and then alternating pattern of normal and obsidian blocks in the next row. So the wall is pretty much done already. Now observers running into the back of those two repeaters. Redstone dust on top of this one here. Block on top. Node block to the front and the back. Let's silence them already if we can with blocks on top. Then we need a observer running downwards below those two. And if this happens, just click on those and that should fix everything. If you want, you can flatten that out. But it's not really necessary. This will flatten out the first time we try it. Anyway, let's place a repeater here first. Make sure this repeater is only on 1 tick, not on 3 ticks. Then let's place a block behind it and some redstone dust on top. Now it's time for the top part. For that, we start on the right side by just adding one to this redstone line here. Now add 2 obsidian blocks and another obsidian block on top in front of the wire. Put a repeater on 2 ticks on top of that gap here and place a normal block in front of it. Put redstone wire on top of that one. Then grab 2 observers, place them on top of this wire, looking on to this wire there. To the front and the back of the second observer, we need observers going front and back, and the same is true for this last wire here. Grab another normal block, place it on top of this repeater there. Now grab sticky pistons, place them in this gap with slime blocks to the bottom. Same at the back of our build. Then on the side of the sticky pistons, we need normal pistons. Then in those corners here, place normal blocks. Below the entire thing, and in each corner we need 2 sticky pistons going towards the side, as you can see here. Then let's create another normal block here, and then diagonally to the obsidian blocks in the middle, we need 4 obsidian blocks in the direction of the corners there. And with that, we are pretty much done. All that's left is filling in the rest of this with normal blocks. And now it's time to give the entire thing another test run. So flick the lever down there. And everything should close up, as you can see here. And if we flick the lever again, everything should also open up again. So with that, the build is pretty much done. Now it's time to build in the front and the back wall and the floor. And voila, so as you can see, now I have the walls in and also the floor. You can also see that there are 6 blocks in total that are slightly discolored. And the reason for that is those blocks need to be transparent blocks. So the main reason is if you place a full block here, it would cut off this wire. The same on this side here. And here, this wire would power a full block, which would power this piston here if it's actually not needed to be powered. So to avoid all of that confusion, you will need those transparent blocks you can see here. That's rather important. Now with that out of the way, let's quickly finish the inside here. So at the moment we have a lever here. Obviously we will need our our button here. So if we press the button, now we can get out of this and the door will go through a quick sequence and close up again. And now we are at the point where we need to talk about powering this, for example, in a way that you can use a pressure plate. So for now, let's place the lever down here and you can see if you activate the lever, the door opens. If you deactivate it, it closes. That's nice so far, but this design is not yet spam proofed. So if you are unlucky with your setup, the middle part might not close completely anymore. So we will have to likely add some spam proofing. Now you can do this however you want. You could also just remember this is not entirely spam proofed and just place a button somewhere which you don't spam. But I would actually recommend building a spam proofing circuit. Now, as I said, this can be done in multiple ways, but one of the simplest way I will show you now. For that, let's actually use gold so you can see the difference. We start with a block diagonal to our input block with a torch. Now the door should open. Then, from this one, we go first twice down diagonally, then up and then down again. Put down 4 redstone wire, like in this here. Then let's go and from the last one, we need to the front a pair of hoppers facing each other, as you can see here. Diagonally to the hoppers, we need lowered blocks. So we can take outputs with comparators, which we then run into full blocks with redstone dust on top. Cut off the wire in this place here. Then on top of the hoppers, the comparators, we need sticky pistons with a block of redstone in the middle of them. Now, going from the left, place a row of 3 blocks with redstone dust on top and a torch here. And now we should be in the default configuration of the closed door again. And from that point on, all that's left is running our pressure plates into this wire here and also putting some items into those hoppers here. How many items you put in there determines how long the door will stay open. I figure 10 is a good number. And if what we have here is essentially a spam-proofed lever, but it can also be used as a timing mechanism. So if we flick the lever, it should open up. And if we flick the lever again, it should close again. So, and if we give it just a short pulse, you can see door opens, waits a bit, and then closes again. And how many items you have in there determines how long you have to wait. And all that's left now is just running a wire from where you want to place the pressure plates to this circuit down there. And here we go. So as you can see, now I've placed my pressure plates at the front and also the back. And from there, I've just run a redstone wire from below them to where I've placed my lever before to the input of this spin probing circuit. And that's the entire thing pretty much finished. I've also placed a raised block here to cut off the unwanted connection of this wire with the signal line. And once we are at this point, the last point is obviously, well, giving the entire thing a test run. So you can see it stays open a while. And if I'm in here, I can also reach to the button, press that one, and get out. Now there might be a little issue here, as you can see. If you use the button, which is not part of the spin probing circuit, you may get this kind of confusion. But in most instances, the whole system should be able to self-heal. So maybe try to avoid standing on the pressure plates if you use the secret entrance, but it shouldn't be too much of an issue in either case. And well, with that, we have reached the end of this tutorial for this 6x6 double vault door with a secret junction. I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial and, well, see ya!